got a full slate of films to talk about today on this snowy day here in Park City. One film that I'm, for lack of a better term, tickled to see. I can't think of it. The name of the film is Tickled, because really that's literally what it's about.
We're at the Sundance Film Festival to premiere our film about competitive endurance tickling. This entire rabbit hole started when Jane O'Brien Media, the company running the tickling competitions, refused to be interviewed by a gay journalist. They sent 3 representatives from the company to New Zealand to warn us off the story.
We're shooting a documentary.
I understand what you think you're doing.
Jane O'Brien's a ghost. Nobody knows who it is.
It all led to a man who had been harassing young men online for over 2 decades.
It said your family better watch out, like direct threats.
Often while pretending to be a woman.
Mr. D'Amato, I just want to sort this issue out.
There's a legal issue about me suing you right now.
It had been a strange experience making a film about someone who didn't want to be discovered.
Thanks for coming out tonight, you guys.
Then at our 3rd screening, some audience members notice an agitated man next to them who is angrily taking notes.
And then we just hear every 30 seconds, we just hear legal paper flipping and mass notes being furiously scribbled the entire time we're watching the film, and it just gets darker and darker, and we're just sitting there like.
I was kind of afraid to laugh.
Because of the disruption, Sundance informed local police who attended all future screenings to ensure everything went smoothly. We were all feeling on edge, with no idea what Jane O'Brien Media had in store for us. I go alone to the next major festival in Missouri, and things get even more weird.
What's his name again?
Kevin.
Kevin.
On the way to a screening, I spot a man who looks like Kevin Clark, one of the men who came to New Zealand to tell us to stop making the documentary.
Elma and I are with the film director, and he spotted him. He's walking down 9th Street. We're pulled over, just kind of stopped and waiting right now. There he is. Is that him?
Can't see.
It turns out both Kevin Clark and Marco Riomonte are in town, and they've bought tickets to every screening this week. The festival increases security in case they try to disrupt or stop any of our screenings.
Who saw them recording?
These guys.
Right.
It's just this guy with this coffee, with this Starbucks coffee, right here, and it's just
There's 2 gentlemen in the cinema. They've got a coffee cup, and it sounds like the film, essentially pirating it. So I don't know who they are. I mean, I imagine they're recording it for their lawyers, but then they could upload it on Pirate Bay, and that's not an option.
Okay, so I think stop them.
The 2 men refuse to leave, and because we suspect they're secretly recording the film from a coffee cup, the movie is stopped while police remove them. I was expecting Kevin and Marco.
These people are, they're new people. I haven't seen these ones before.
So I put my hand on him and I said, you either give me that cup or you're under arrest. And he immediately looked at the cup and put it down and then unscrewed it and showed me that it was empty. So if there was a quarter in it or something, it's not in there now. They may have handed it to the woman to the left of it. But we can figure that out when they walk out.
Okay.
The 2 men had flown in from New York, and it seems that if they were recording, the evidence is now gone. It's ironic, considering I used the coffee cup trick when I filmed Kevin in New Zealand.
They're a couple private detectives.
Mad. They'd be hired.
There's nothing that we can really charge with.
Yeah, I understand.
The police are unable to charge them with anything, so they're free to go. I don't know who sent them, but I can make a pretty good guess. The next day, I'm tapped on the shoulder by a woman who wants to know if I'm David Farrier. For a moment, I think maybe it's a fan. But it turns out she was there to serve me with 2 lawsuits from David D'Amato.
The documentary to Columbia's True False Film Festival now faces a lawsuit. The subject of the film says the story is completely untrue and is now striking back.
One's been filed here in Missouri, the other in Utah, where we'd screened at Sundance. They allege defamation, emotional distress, and invasion of privacy. These are the first real lawsuits we've seen. D'Amato is seeking damages, and we're worried his complaints will mean we have to stop showing Tickled. On top of this, D'Amato is now suing his stepmother for $40 million, alleging statements she made in the documentary were defamatory. The whole reason we made the film was to expose D'Amato, hoping justice would be served. But it's still unclear what laws he's broken, and his victims haven't been able to afford lawyers themselves.
Oh, hey, how are you? David. It's nice to meet you.
John.
Encouragingly, a few people have reached out to us, wanting to dig deeper, including the DA's office in Nassau County where David D'Amato lives. I go and meet them along with our lawyer, Cameron Strocker.
So I'll bring my colleagues in.
Okay.
And if we can stop filming for that.
Thank you.
In the meeting, we cover what we discovered during our investigation. It lasts for around an hour.
I came away from there a little frustrated. You know, I think right now you're getting this like, well, gosh, we can't do that and we can't do this and that's out of our jurisdiction and this is out of our jurisdiction, so screw it, you know?
Yeah.
But they're the ones. I mean, nobody else is going to do it if they don't do it.
D'Amato seems to be getting away with it again. The quote he used to accompany his old yearbook photo sums it all up. Dylan and I both head back to New Zealand to regroup. The 2 lawsuits are intimidating, and now Kevin, the producer of the tickling videos, has also swung into action.
So why has a new documentary about competitive tickling created such an uproar?
You're saying this is a hatchet job, this movie?
That's a polite word for it. It is a dishonest way to make money and to gain fame.
He's not suing, but is on a media campaign to take down Tickled.
Is David D'Amato connected to your company, Jane O'Brien Media, in any way?
No, not to my knowledge. That doesn't mean he isn't.
Kevin's also created a website to discredit the film. According to the site, he was the disgruntled audience member at Sundance, and is angry he appears in the film at all.
Hello, I am Kevin Clark, and I'm about to commence an interview with Jordan Shilaki. He will talk, and then I will ask him some questions from off camera. Thank you.
He also has Jordan, the ex-MMA fighter, recanting some of his interview.
And you do have a marijuana medical card in Michigan. Yeah. And when he came, he smoked dope with you and partied and acted like, you know, like that was what a news person or a true documentarian was supposed to do.
I didn't smoke any drugs with Jordan. A lot of what he says simply isn't true.
They were very proud of the fact that, among other things, they'd gotten David D'Amato's, hacked his private documents and stuff like that. Yeah. They were very free with that kind of information. You could tell, in other words, that this was a vendetta against David D'Amato, and fuck David D'Amato, pardon the language.
Yeah, pretty much it was a screw David D'Amato, and yeah, they had to hack it.
We didn't hack D'Amato's computer. It seems that his files became available when he moved hosting providers. They were so unprotected, you could find them by doing a Google search.
You should be very proud of yourself for coming and at least telling us the truth here now. and I appreciate it very much.
No problem at all. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Jordan.
While all this is going on, we get some good news. Because we challenged the jurisdiction of D'Amato's 2 pending lawsuits, they've both been withdrawn. It's a huge relief. We head back to America to promote Tickled coming out in cinemas. Dylan and I split the publicity up. I stay in New York, and Dylan heads to LA.
So tonight's the first screening in LA. We're opened at the New Art Cinema. It's just past 8 o'clock now. The session started at 7:30, and I'm due to do a Q&A in about an hour.
I'm not going to discuss Jane O'Brien.
But just before Dylan does his Q&A, he bumps into Kevin in the lobby.
Are you going to say
Why did you call police on me?
I didn't call the police on you. Sundance has a security policy that they acted on their own.
And
we didn't call anyone. We didn't tell anyone anything.
Oh,
they have a policy. And
really?
they acted.
You think sending bomb sniffing doors of police after someone because I took notes is okay?
We didn't tell the police who was sent. We didn't call the police. We didn't ask for anything. Sundance dealt with that by
And you
themselves.
didn't correct them.
What was I going to say?
You were going to say there is no reason to do that to that person. He threatened no one.
Policy for that
and that was the policy, I suppose, in Missouri as well.
In Missouri, the 2 men who were in the film refused
and that
to
has
leave.
what to do with me?
Nothing to do with you.
Then what then? What does that have to do with me?
Well, you brought Missouri up.
Kevin's also fixated on what he sees as a breach of ethics, us filming him secretly and using tickling footage he'd shot.
The film is a piece of garbage full of lies.
As Dylan walks into the cinema, he meets the last person we ever expected to turn up.
Hey guys, thanks so much for coming out to the New Art. Let's give a round of applause for Tickle here.
David D'Amato has just watched the entire movie.
In unprecedented fashion, some of the people from the film are here.
No. I'd like to invite you to talk to us. Sit down with us at some point.
Can't do it in California.
You can't talk to me in California.
No, it's
Why
illegal.
not? It's illegal for you to talk to me in California.
Yeah, just try filming me and find out.
Oh, we are filming you.
Good. Are you by all means, keep filming me.
No, are you unaware?
By all means, keep filming me.
Are you unaware that you're being filmed?
No, but are you aware of the Film LA registration?
We can film in here. This is a private space.
In fact, you can't.
We have permission from the owners.
That does not have anything to do with the California ordinance for the County of Los Angeles.
That's not a criminal statute.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's a civil statute. We can be fined, perhaps. I mean, if that's what it takes.
Tell you what, you're going to tell a New York attorney what a felony is in his own country.
Will it be
This
Nick
one
Brown?
right here, buddy.
You're not a member of the bar.
I certainly am able to practice law.
You are not a member of the bar. You're not admitted to the New York State Bar.
How about other states?
I don't know. I couldn't find you in any that I looked in.
Can't seem to find the damn thing. You're not doing a
Well, you
very
said
good
it was
job.
in New York, though.
Where's your buddy David? He at least is.
He's in New York. You know that. It's on the website.
Competent, non-confrontational interview. But no, really, what I wanted to do is wish you all the success possible because it's going to be a good ride.
Ladies and gentlemen, David D'Amato.
Stay
Trust me, I am. Let him speak.
David.
Let him speak.
No,
I'm no coward. Go ahead.
David, no, come up in the front. There's microphones. I will honestly, I will
No,
invite you
I
to
want,
speak honestly.
I want you to do your Q&A.
You can say whatever you
I
like.
want you to do your Q&A, and I will happily join the audience where I've been and see what you have to say.
Yeah. Sorry, it's a little unorthodox. Raise a hand if you want to ask a question.
What was the hardest part about making the documentary?
Essentially, making a film about a person who doesn't want a film made about them is complicated, as I'm sure you're aware, and is evident from the film and from some events.
D'Amato sits through the whole Q&A, just like any regular audience member.
Okay, you can't have that one both ways. He tells the truth or he's a liar.
Kevin starts to interject, upset that people may think Jane O'Brien's videos are homoerotic. He seems to want to distance himself from his old job as a gay porn director.
When you use used Richard Ivey as an example of what was going on. You didn't bother to tell anyone he was a pornographer. You showed footage of him fondling someone's nipples and acted as though that's what I shoot.
I think we know what you shoot.
Let me finish talking, please. There is no nudity. There is no touching of genitals. None of that exists. Yet you conflate the two as if they're the same.
I don't think we do. I understand that that's the position you take. We can ask the audience. Do you think we conflate the videos of these guys with pornography?
The bully here are Ferrier and Reeve. That's who the bullies are.
I mean, this was surreal for me. So, David, I mean, honestly, I'm really willing to hear you speak if you want to say anything at all.
Well, I just...
Would you like a microphone? Honestly, do you want to come up here? Do you want me to bring you a microphone? I'm happy to listen to you.
You needn't do either. I have a good speaking voice.
Okay.
I do have to credit you on the fact that while your facts are very distorted, some of the effects in the movie, the music, the choreography, was done very well. Yes. I hope that this film has a long and successful run in this country, because I think that life is a learning experience and that you're going to learn a great deal about things as a result of this. And I am not necessarily talking about what a battle in the United States Civil Court is like. I would like to correct one thing that you said.
Absolutely.
The legal action that is pending was not dismissed. In this country, it is possible to move suits, federal suits, to another jurisdiction. And as we say in New York, Los Angeles TV, you need to lawyer up. You need to get criminal counsel now. Let me finish. Please, if you're being funded, if you're being helped, whatever, obtain criminal counsel sooner than later, because there are going to be questions asked along those lines.
Things move outside onto the street. Kevin and D'Amato aren't going anywhere, and with audience members looking on, it feels more like a circus than a film screening. And there's another familiar face, as Dylan notices the man by D'Amato's side is the same private investigator from the film festival in Missouri.
You know what the question that I would ask you? Yeah.
And what D'Amato says next is a reminder of how this whole tickling saga started 3 years ago, when Jane O'Brien Media didn't want to be interviewed by a gay journalist.
You obviously are a family man.
I am, yeah.
David Farrier is, by his own admission now, gay.
He's bisexual, but it's not really
Right.
important.
I don't see the alliance.
Look, I find homophobia problematic. I'm not a homophobic person remotely. So I find that to see that kind of thing is weird.
It may be a cultural thing because half of our states here have so-called, what you would call homophobic legislation.
Yeah, and yeah, no, of course. And I think that's changing rapidly, and I think that's a good thing. I don't know if you agree.
You know something? It's not necessarily what I hope will come.
Okay.
It really isn't.
What do you
I think
will come?
I think that for reasons that you don't understand, it may be inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
But given what happened versus what may be going to happen, I don't wish. And I'm not talking about going to prison for 30 years either. I don't want to.
No,
I don't. You're a family guy. There must be a decent part inside of you.
There's a very decent part inside of me, I think.
And you might have bitten off more than you should.
Spike Pumpkin here. Thank you for the car. I hope to live up to your expectations.
This is Ryan Pumpkin filming Spike Pumpkin for his Tickle Talk.
No, you just gotta be like casual
Yeah.
about it, right? All right. Yeah. So I'm like I'd say if I was like just say how ticklish I am,